Homeschooling came up again yesterday in the Senate, and there are still homeschoolers here at the Capitol today. I mean, any further thoughts on whether that's something you all are going to look at this session?
I think it remains to be seen. I don't know, right? I mean, you know, it's unfortunate that it is being portrayed in the way that it is, right? Our colleagues on the other side of the aisle are suggesting we're attacking people, right? When you use that language, it's naturally going to gin up the kind of energy that it has, and I understand where those families are coming from and feeling that way. But this is part of the problem with our politics right now, where people want to leap to headlines, leap to social media posts, and suggest that Democrats, right, this is the actual language that's used, are attacking homeschool families, when it's absolute nonsense, when there's a legitimate issue here about the safety of children who are no longer enrolled in public schools and what is happening to them, right? Was the Waterbury case probably an exception, as I said yesterday? Absolutely. Because it is an exception, does it mean we should do nothing? No. I don't think that either.
Yeah, and what the answer is a hard one to think about. My guess is the overwhelming majority of people who are homeschooled are done with love, care, and great education.
Good outcomes.
Good outcomes. But there probably are bad outcomes for which we have no way of tracking or having any knowledge of that happening. So you have to decide, should you say, look, we're willing to tolerate the incidents that may happen to children,
being an outlier,
right,
in terms of state policy,
to prioritize this notion of I can do whatever I want with my children? Or should the state have, like other states, have some regulations on reporting or something? But then what does that mean? Is it an annual check-in? Is it sending a form? I don't know, and that's where it's complicated. Yeah.
Before Waterbury, were you guys aware, was it generally known of, for lack of a better term, the lax oversight on homeschoolers? There's not very many regulations. Was that commonly known or not known?
Yeah, the commissioners have been were at it about 4 or 5 years ago. This was an issue, and it kind of died under its own weight. But the commissioners and the advocates have been pointing this out, and there are cases, and a handful of, granted, this is the small minority, but there have been some tragic cases where the thought is if the kid was at school or there was some checkup process, they may have caught the telltale signs of abuse.
Right, and there have been other cases. And C.C. Merrick believes...
Admittedly, only a few, right, to my knowledge.
But C.C. Marr believes that you can have a delicate balance, that you can, without burdensome regulations and rules, and have a better system where you can hopefully save a child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look, when we did the vaccine law, I heard there were similar arguments, right, about infringement, and I mean, they're a little different, but at some point, you have to make tough decisions, and sometimes government does, I don't think, restrict what you can do with your children, but has to think about the common good of everybody and has to make decisions that, yes, one could argue are, in some way, but I mean, to go to a public school, you have to get an annual physical. You have to get vaccinated. We do have requirements that we set forth in statute. So, yeah, that happens.